Welcome to Microsoft Word. You will be learning quite a few basic things in Microsoft Word today. First thing I'm going to start out with is at the top, up here, this is called a ribbon. Up here at the top, this is a ribbon. In the Styles area, notice that it defaults to normal. We will not be using normal. Normal is not the correct spacing that we use in business. Therefore, right next to it, you'll see the icon that has no spacing. I need you to click on no spacing. This will always give you the correct spacing in between lines of text. So you should start a habit of clicking on no spacing whenever you open a Word document. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to insert a footer. We're going to go up to the Insert tab, up here on the left, and then over to the right, and the ribbon, I'm kind of in the middle, you'll see the icon that says Footer. Go ahead and click on Footer, and you have some choices here. I usually use this one, the second one down that gives you these three areas. Go ahead and click on that, and you'll notice it automatically brings you to the place you need to be. In this first area, you will put your name. In the middle area here, you can put the date, and you can do it one of two ways. You can hand key it in, or if you're not sure what the date is, even though it always tells you in the bottom right hand corner, you can go up to date and time and always write it out. So for instance, you would write out the month, the day, and the year. Over to the right would be the assignment name, and I'm just going to put PRAC, short for practice. Okay, once you have these done, you need to go up to the ribbon again and click on the red box with the X, and that will close the footer. Now when you scroll down, you will notice that in the footer area it's gray. The gray is going to let you know that it is in the footer. So just in case at some point you're doing your work and everything is gray, you need to see that as a red flag, because you might accidentally be in the header or the footer and not realize it. Okay, now that we're back to our document, we're going to go up to the ribbon area, to the font area, and this is where we'll be working. So the first thing we'll do is we are going to go ahead and key in, you can key in your favorite vehicle. I'm just going to put the word car. And what I'm going to have you do, since car is right under our menu here, I don't want that to be covered up. So with our cursor anywhere by car here, I'm going to go up to this paragraph area, and I'm going to choose right alignment of text, this right alignment icon. You'll notice it has moved our car, or the name of your car or vehicle, whichever you chose, to the right. Once that's done, you can do this a couple ways. Something you have to remember is that there's more than one way to do everything in Word, Excel, or PowerPoint. So however, if you know a different way and you like to do it that way, you go for it. You can either double click, or you can click and drag to highlight the word car or whatever word you used. Now we're going to go up to this font area. You're going to click the down arrow next to our font style. Don't take a lot of time. Just go ahead and find a font style. Doesn't matter what you choose. I'm going to choose maybe that one. I'm going to make mine, well, actually we can do that in a minute here. So I chose a font style from the list, and you'll notice as you drag your mouse, if you look at your Word, notice that it continually changes so that you can view what it is your font is going to look like. Then you can go from there. Well, I just changed mine again. That's okay. Alright, that is the font style. Again, make sure your word is highlighted. Now we're going to go up to the font size. Now there's two different ways we can do this. You have a default here. If you click the down arrow, they have defaulted numbers here. And as you move your mouse, you notice that your word gets bigger or smaller. So let's say, for instance, we chose one, but we really weren't sure, and we didn't want to just keep moving our mouse back and forth. Actually, let's say this. 72 is the highest it's going to go. And let's say we need it a lot higher than that. Well, we can, right next to it, you'll see up at in the font area, you'll see a capital letter A, a big one, and a little capital letter A. If you click on the big capital letter A, notice your word gets much bigger. Then the little one, I'm sure you can figure this out, your word is going to get smaller. Now let's say, for instance, you're clicking along and you're like, oh, this is going to take forever if I have to keep clicking. Well, what you can do is over here where we had our list of numbers, you can click on the number in here and you can actually key in a number and enter, and voila, there it is. It's a little too big, so I'm going to bring it down to 72. So there's many ways you can choose, or there's many ways you can change your font style, your font size. Next, what we're going to do is we're still going to highlight our word if you don't already have it highlighted. And we're going to go back to the font area, and underneath the font style, you notice you have the underline. Now I'm sure many of you have used the underline before. You just clicked on it and voila, you have an underline. We're going to go a little further than that, because notice there's a down arrow. So you're going to click on that down arrow, and what it does, it gives you thickness, or not thickness, it gives you different types or styles of underlines. So you can go ahead and choose whatever you want. So once you've chosen the line, I want you to go back, click the down arrow, and let's see here, we can change the color. I'm going to change it to purple. And oh, you know what? That's another thing I have to tell you. I am working with Microsoft Office 2007, and you are working in Microsoft Office 2010. So there are times when what you see on my screen here will not look the same as what yours does. Now I know you have a thickness option down here where it gives you a really thick line or a really thin line. So you can go ahead and test that out. I don't have that option. I have to go further in to find that option, but you have that option. So go ahead and click one. Okay, so once we have that, I want you to click to where your cursor is at the far right or at the end of your word. What we're going to do is we need to take it back down to a normal or a decent size, maybe 20 or 18. Make sure you take off the underline, and I'm going to enter, and I'm going to go to my paragraph area, and I'm going to take it back to the left margin, which is right here. I'm going to scroll down just a little bit so that my information can be, about right there is good. Okay, so that's where we are now. What we'll do is go ahead and highlight your car again, and this time you have the default color of the word, which is black. We're going to go up to the font style area, or the font area, sorry, and we are going to go to the font color, and you'll click the down arrow and go ahead and choose a font color. Again, you can run your mouse and see the different kind of colors that you may or may not want. Also, you'll notice that some of you still have the capital C, or you may even have a lowercase c, depending on if you even capitalized it, and then maybe a lowercase a and a lowercase r. Now let's say that you are writing a sentence and you notice that you forgot to capitalize the first letter of each word, or maybe you accidentally hit the caps lock and all the letters are capitalized except for the first letter in the sentence. Instead of erasing or deleting that, we can change that. And over here in the font area, you have this capital A and this little a. Once you click on the down arrow, you have a sentence case, which we already have, or which I already have. And then if you go to lowercase, notice it takes the C down to lowercase. And uppercase, now everything's uppercase. Toggle case, well, that's like what I said before, if you accidentally made everything capital letter. Capitalize each word, that gives you a capital letter for each word. So just remember, if you're ever writing a paper and you goof up somehow, you can always come up here and change it to what you need it to be. Alright, let's go back down here. Click underneath your car, or the word car, or whatever word you had, so that you're back to where your cursor is, to the left margin. And go ahead and key in your favorite food. Okay, once you key in your favorite food, go ahead and highlight that. We're going to go back up to the font area, and we are going to click on the B, which is bold, and you can see that it thickens the line. We're going to click on the I, which is next to the B, and this is for italicize. Notice now that the words are slanted. And another option we're going to use is something that you may have never used, and it's called the highlight. And what we're going to do is up in the font area, on the left side of your font color, you'll see like a little highlighter. Click the down arrow, and you can pick a color, doesn't matter what color it is. And just for an example, sometimes when the secretary sends out something to all the staff, she may highlight certain words that will draw our attention. So when you bring up this document and you have a few places that have this highlight on it, kind of draws your attention, so you kind of make sure you read that. It's kind of like an emphasis. So that's why you might want to use a highlighter. Or maybe you're taking notes, or you're putting notes on here on a document, and you need it to stick out so you can find it right away when you reference your sheet. This would be a good way to do that. Okay, now what we're going to do is click at the end of your word, go back up to your highlighter, say no color, otherwise you'll be highlighting everything beyond this point. And we're going to click on the I, so we undo it. We're going to click on the B, so we undo that. And we're going to go ahead and enter. And let's enter one more time. Okay, so now what we're going to do is put your first name, just your first name. I'm just going to put first. Okay, and now it always defaults to the left alignment, so that's where your first name will be. I'm going to enter. I'm going to go up to the paragraph, and I'm going to choose center alignment. This is how you center words or something on your document. Do not use the space bar. Do not use the tab. Do not try to eyeball it. Just highlight your word, or before you type, click on center. Go ahead and put your middle name. If you don't have a middle name, just put middle. That works. And then you're going to enter. And this time we're going to click on the right alignment. Right meaning it's going to show up on the right side of your page. And go ahead and put your last name. And then go ahead and enter. And notice we're still at that right alignment of text. In order to take it back to the left margin, or the left alignment. You need to come up to the paragraph area and choose left alignment. Okay, now you've done your left alignment, your center alignment, and your right alignment.